Okay. Hi, this is Maxine Golden from Golden Coaching Solutions, and I wanted to come on for a few minutes today to talk to you about a challenge that I am going to be offering you at the end of this short video clip. The name of the challenge is called Project Your Confidence. Learn to project it until you perfect it. It's going to be in June 14th to June 18th. And before I tell you more about what's going to happen on the actual challenge, I wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory to even why it's called Project Your Confidence. Growing up, I never had that just confidence. I wasn't relaxed. I was always anxious, insecure, feeling really like jittery a lot of the time, and anxious, and I used to kind of keep all those feelings inside, and I didn't know what to do with them, where to put them. And so I created a persona. I would go to places and have like this confident looking personality, but on the inside I was scared, and I had feelings that I couldn't always control, those physical feelings of anxiety and panic. But for years I would just push through. There was a time when I felt like I couldn't cope, and I stopped kind of going out and interacting with the world, and I even got some beta blockers, because every situation that I would encounter and face, I would get that feeling of panic, when your heart starts beating faster. And so it was really tough like childhood, tough upbringing. And I know that you can relate to what I'm saying. I know this is something that you have experienced as well, and probably been through a lot of the same things that I had been through, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to get help. And even when you may have got help, it wasn't effective enough. And so although I wanted to be popular, and I wanted to do things, and I wanted to try things that I hadn't previously done because I was scared to, I didn't, I stopped. But I kept projecting this kind of persona that I was okay, and that everything was fine. But when I wasn't. And so I kind of decided that I had to do something about it. I decided that I'm going to just turn this up, so I've got some questions here that I want to answer, and I'm just going to look at them. So I decided that I really wanted to do something about my desires. Oh, my dog's going off. She's starting to dream. That's my co-host, Molly. You'll get to see her on the challenge. Sorry. Molly, stop. And so, I still had desires, things that I wanted to accomplish. And I would sometimes do some things, I would take risks. Sometimes I would take unnecessary risks, and it would end up, thank God, okay, and I didn't end up like in really serious trouble and dying. But I wanted you to understand a little bit of that background about where I came from, and think about yourself and where you're going and your dreams. I want you to have the same kind of opportunities that I have come across and now experience in a completely different world, and a world that I recognize. I knew I was meant for greatness. I knew I was meant for more. I knew that I was meant to do like higher things, higher achievement, but I didn't know how to get there, and the anxiety would stop me from just being confident and breaking through. So like on the outside it looked great, right? When you go to places and you put on your face and you interact, and it's great, but then on the inside you feel crushed, or you feel so afraid that you stop being the person that you really want to be, and you end up kind of disappearing and sinking, and you know, it's painful, it's excruciating sometimes, but you can't always share those things with people, you know. So you want to be great, and you know on the outside you have these amazing things that you kind of can see and that you want to do, but you don't do it because of the fear. And so, you know, I just kept coming up with these feelings, and but I was like, this has got to change. Like, this has got to change. I can't keep living like a half-baked life, you know, like trying something or not trying something, or just not doing everything that I was created to do, you know, for a purpose. And so I kind of got to this point, and I was like, no, I have to change, right? And so I started on a journey of self-discovery, and there was some like physical cognitive therapy things that I kind of looked into, but even that wasn't that effective for me. And I went into the mental health background, into the mental health field, and I was there for years helping others, right? But it was helping me too, because I was healing at the same time that I was helping others. So I started that journey, and as I began that journey, I began to feel better, you know. But there was still something, there was still a void, there was still that kind of uncertainty and anxiety, those things that were just still just kind of stop me, like attack me almost. And it was like I was like at a starting point of this is anxiety, this thing is suffocating me. And then I started my journey of like self-discovery and started to get more confident, but I still hadn't quite made it, right? Still hadn't quite crossed over. Started to like know my talents and started to see the things that I could do, but still couldn't quite break through. And so I had a spiritual encounter with God. I'd had other spiritual encounters with other gods, but that they still weren't fulfilling the need that I was looking for. And so that, coupled with my self-confidence beginning to grow, my belief in myself beginning to grow, beginning to take the limits off, beginning to see that I was made for a purpose, and that I had a reason to live. Because there were those dark moments too, you know, when you're alone and the suicidal thoughts come, and you're like, is this even worth it, you know? And so I got really low to those points where I wanted to take my life, but I, you know, thank God I didn't. And so let me just move on, because there's a question here and I can't see it. But anyway, so I needed to, I'd got to that point. I got my kind of soul and spirit in the right direction, if you like, pointing in the right direction. And hang on, I'm going to take this off because I really want to answer these questions properly. So I got myself pointed in the right direction, and I realized that, okay, I'm in the mental health field, but it still was in a kind of place of negativity, right? It was still like diagnosing people, helping them, giving them coping skills, coping mechanisms, but not overcoming, not really breaking through to the point where they were not their diagnosis. They weren't their anxiety, or they weren't their depression, you know, where they could see themselves. I wanted to get them to a point where they could see themselves. And that's when I started coaching, because I realized, like, I'm such a motivator, and I realized that I would be encouraging people, and it was coaching that I was doing instead of therapy. And then I started to travel that road of coaching and saw the difference that it was making in people's lives. And I would deal with the root cause with them, but then they became coachable, where they were able to start changing the way that they thought, and the way that they saw things, and the way that they looked at things. And I was able to help them to kind of reframe their lives, right? So that was it for me, that achievement of not necessarily all the education, and I do enjoy learning, but I think there are many ways you can learn, and I don't think that you necessarily need a certificate to help someone. You need passion and desire and destiny and purpose, right? And those are the things that I had it within me, and they were the things that were locked up, and those are the things that I want to help you unlock. Those are the things that I want you to discover, so that you can see your purpose and your dream, and that you can really move forward on this life, before it's over, before it's too late. So the transformation started to occur, right? I started to recognize, oh my God, I have gifts and talents. I'm worth it. I'm worthy. I have purpose. And so these things, these discoveries is what I want to help you to do. I want you to discover your purpose. I want you to find out really your true worth. I want you to be able to cross that bridge like I did and move over into just perfection, like the promised land. People say, oh, you can't be perfect, nothing's perfect. And it's true, in the worldly sense, nothing is perfect. But in the Greek, perfection can also mean maturity. And so that's what I want to help you to do, is to mature into yourself, to discover who you really are underneath all of those thoughts and imaginations, and then take that journey. I want to help you take that journey. I know that's something that you want to do. I know you want it. But it's finding the right person, right? It's finding someone that can help you unlock those keys to yourself, to your purpose, to your destiny. I believe that I can help you. If you want help to do what I did, then at the end of this video, I'm gonna, tell you more about the challenge. If you think that I'm a right fit and could help you, and I think the same, then we could do this journey together. I know that I'm not going to kind of reach out to everyone, because you can't, we're all different. So we have to find the right person to connect with, the right person that can kind of hit the notes and help us to open those doors and go into the vaults, so that we can start to unpeel and just peel away and get rid of things that have held us down, okay? So with that said, on June 14th to 18th, 5 days, I'm going to be offering a challenge. And it's called, like I said earlier, Project Your Confidence. Learn to project it until you perfect it, right? And on day one, I'm going to talk with you about what it means to be confident. We're going to go into exploration of all those kind of different words of connection and consistency and completeness and wholeness, and all the things that create us as human beings, right? Things that create our world, and things that create our world are our words. So we're going to really kind of take a deep dive into those things, and if we're not thinking those kind of thoughts, how we can shift those thought patterns using the mindset transformation, just changing the way that we think, reframing things. And day two, we're going to be untying lies and detaching from the past, pre-programming things that have you've been preconditioned to believe about yourself, the narrative that society has given you, things that you think you can't do or shouldn't do or wouldn't do or won't do, things that have blocked you. So we're going to look at things you can do regarding with mindset, to exchange those lies, those negative beliefs, things that you have allowed to become corrupt in you. Not that things in the beginning were your fault or responsibility, but now that you're of age, you have the power to change things. But sometimes you need help to kind of break those steps down and to uncover and to just be able to take those limits off, right, and letting go of the past, so that you can walk into your future. So we'll look at the brainwashing and things that have been going on since time immemorial, things that from the beginning of in the Garden of Eden, how Adam and Eve were deceived, and how they had so much, they had so many gifts and talents, but the one thing that they thought that they needed, they kind of went for because they listened to the wrong thing, right? So sometimes, you do that, right? You think you need something, you think you need love and affection in one area, so you go that route, and it's not what you thought it was going to be. Or even the career that you think that you want to have, it's not what you thought it was going to be. So helping you to start like stripping those things away so that you can really see your passion, see your purpose, see what you were made to do, and propel yourself into your future, so you can open your business, so you can raise your confidence to the point that you will be able to live your dreams and desires, create your product, create your service, and all the other stuff around it, sales and marketing and funnels. Those are things that you'll grow into and you'll learn more about. Excuse me. Those are things that you're going to learn. You probably know a lot of it already, but you're as you walk into that world, you're going to pick up so much confidence that you will begin to see and put those pieces together. But it starts with you, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your confidence. When you raise that to the point where you become dangerous, where you don't care what anybody thinks about you, in the sense that you don't let them affect you, not that you don't value people around you in your life that are important and that they can give you good feedback, but even so, you still will know for yourself that you are worthy. So that's kind of what we'll cover on day 3. And day 4, it will be getting to the root of things, looking at root causes and how we don't have to kind of be re-traumatized, but we can actually reframe our mindset so that we can shift from thinking one way, releasing, forgiving and letting go of trauma, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, and letting God off the hook and moving forward, right? And identifying who the real enemy is, and that's usually Satan. Sometimes it's our own thoughts and other people, but learning to forgive and let go of that. So we're going to kind of look into that and the difference between feelings and truth, and how we can create new belief systems or walk into a belief system that's real, that's true, right? Well, and as I say, like, feelings can feel real, but they're not the truth. So we're going to look at how you can discover the truth of what the word says about you, what you say about you, what you think about you, how you see you, so you can do you. So you can do you and finally be you. Doesn't matter, how old you are, how young you are. It does not matter. Those things are almost irrelevant. What matters is your desire and your commitment to want to change, right? So we're going to cover all of that and so much more. And then number 5, day 5, it's going to be like, possible is the only option. So here I'm going to talk to you about the wealth creation transformation system. And that's a system where you can monetize your passion, monetize your pain, monetize your value. You can exploit yourself in a positive way, right? And I'll be talking about the 9 golden keys to the kingdom that will open those doors as well. And that's a whole nother story. And then after day 5, then I'll be talking about the long term, like what happens after that? Where do we go from here? But we'll get more into that and the program that I have following the 5-day challenge. So if this is something that you have desired and you've wanted for such a long time, but your own thoughts are stopping you from getting there and breaking through, and other forces that you just don't seem to find a way to, to kind of pull it all together, then this is a challenge for you, all right? It's going to be 1 hour a day for the regular, like, economy ticket, and then the VIP, the high flyer experience. We're gonna have a VIP Holy Spirit hour where we're gonna just really get into the depths and the deepness of how spiritual we are and how everything is so spiritual. Of course, Holy Spirit's going to be throughout the whole of the challenge, but there we're going to take time to really tune into our essence of who God has created us to be, and in the image that He has created us in. Okay, so click the link below, sign up, choose your option. I don't want to say like choose your worth, because what I want to say to you is that you're priceless and there is no value, right? There's no pound sign or dollar sign on your value, but it's about your time, your value, your world, and creating the world that you've always desired to have. Okay, so there's going to be live interaction and feedback. I'm not just going to do like a Facebook live. It's going to be on Zoom, and all those details you're going to find once you click to sign up for more information about all of that. So with that said, thank you and enjoy your life, and I hope to see you on the other side in the promised land. Okay? All right, God bless. Bye.